In the words of the iconic Adamant, you don't drink, you don't smoke. What do you do? No, I'm asking you guys. If you don't drink and don't smoke, what do you do? I don't know.
Do people do something other?
Do you do crossword puzzles? Do you scrapbook?
I'm at a loss.
I don't.
Volunteer at a soup kitchen? What do people do that don't drink and don't smoke?
Frozen sing-alongs.
Sadly, you're right. I think there's a weird subset of society that engages in this nefarious activity. But from the looks of you two putzes, I'm asking this question to the wrong audience. Welcome to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. I'm your host, Matt A. Cade. With me, as always, is Putz number 1, Cody Leschker. Putz number 2, Jason Tuttle. I bring up Adamant because he's an interesting figure in our film we'll be watching tonight, and honestly, I've had music on my mind a little bit lately, and thought it kind of bring it to the forefront. Greetings, as always, from the upstairs balcony of O'Brien's Irish Pub in downtown Temple, Texas. I'm sitting at the table with two guys who love 80s music more than maybe any other two guys I know. Maybe different styles of 80s music, but all music. You guys I'm not saying you don't like all music, but you guys are unapologetic 80s music fans.
Child of the 80s.
I mean, Tuttle, you're sitting here in front of me in a brand new, crisp Steve Miller Band t-shirt.
But that was 60s, late 60s and 70s as well.
Was Abracadabra not in the 80s?
I think Abracadabra, if it wasn't 80s, it was late 70s.
Okay.
But you just sounds 80s.
But you saw them open up for Journey.
That's right.
2 weeks ago, you had a blast.
I had a wonderful time. The only disappointing part was it was a rescheduled show, and Tower of Power was supposed to be the opener. I love Tower of Power, so I was really kind of excited to see them. But like I said, their show got canceled the first go around, and when they rescheduled it, Tower of Power couldn't go. But it was Steve Miller Band and Journey, and it was a wonderful show. When
I bring this up, and Cody, I know you're a live music fan, and in conjunction with that, as one of the owners of O'Brien's Irish Pub, you have live music here, a minimum of 4 nights a week.
Yes.
So your life, a big part of your life is listening to live music.
It is.
Whether you like it or not, you listen to a lot of it.
That's very true.
Tuttle, you go to a lot of live shows.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to throw this out there just before we get started, just because it was on my mind, and, well, what the hell not? I can do what I want. I passed up the opportunity today. My favorite band of all time is Faith No More.
Good band.
They left us in the late 90s with their last album and disappeared, which by all counts was for good. They all went off and did their own separate things. I continued to follow their singer, Mike Patton, through a million other projects, but the idea of a Faith No More reunion was I never got a chance to see them live in their heyday. And then all of a sudden, they started playing some reunion shows a few years ago, and it was just kind of summed up, that was it, just a few reunion shows. They're releasing a new album in May. Brand new album, new material. They did the right thing as far as some of these other bands that get back together. They just kind of go out and rehash the same stuff over and over. They'd had enough of that, and they're like, if we're going to keep doing this, we need to record some new stuff. And they have a brand new album coming out in May, which I'm totally over the moon about. It's called Soul of Invictus. But today, I found out yesterday that they're finally coming to Texas in July. Tickets went on sale this morning at 10 o'clock. And I literally stayed up all night debating whether I was going to get tickets. Number one, the venue in Austin, which is our nearest city to where we're at, is the Austin Music Hall, where Cody and I went and saw Tenacious. Well, we went there with the intent to see Tenacious D.
I heard Tenacious D music
a few years ago.
Yeah. I didn't actually see Tenacious D.
We didn't actually see them. It's a horrible venue. We left. I think my wife and I left about 3 songs in. I think you guys left pretty quick after that.
Yeah, it was
where we were kind of sequestered on the side. Granted, we got there sort of late, but the stage set up. We couldn't even see Jack Black. It was basically we were looking at a KG solo show, which, nothing against KG, but between that and the UT frat kid spilling his cocaine on me, standing next to me, and I just kind of realized last night, I was like, as much as I want to see Faith No More, I think I'm getting old to the point to where the idea of standing up and watching a band for 2 hours, I can't do it. Traffic, parking, and then if there were seats, if there was, and I realized
seats and bar service,
and I realized, holy shit, man, you're old. I can't believe. So this morning at 10 o'clock when those tickets went on sale, I had to hey, this is my one chance in the world to see my favorite band of all time, because they probably won't do this again.
Yeah.
Or you have to just fess up to you know what? You're not a fan of live music, and even your favorite band, you're not willing to go through the hoops and the stuff, and I didn't get tickets.
What?
And it's been weighing on me all day, but
To quote Rodney Dangerfield from the great movie Back to School, do not go gently into that good night. No, you go see it. Pull up a laptop right now and get tickets.
no, it's too late.
But what you were saying about the Austin Music Hall is spot on.
It's a horrible venue.
If you get there late and you're up top, it sucks so bad. There's no really good place if you're having to stand up off. Now, if you get there early enough and you can fight the crowd and get up to that rail, it's an okay spot. Other than that, I've only been to one concert there, and I really don't want to go back.
Well, it was miserable. It was completely money down the toilet, and you know what? I'm leaning towards I don't need to see them. And I also have that other feeling and I think there's an old Seinfeld episode where Elaine asked Jerry about going to see a concert, and he's like, why do I need to stand there and watch a guy sing? What? Because the wife didn't want to go with me because she had a horrible experience at the venue.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what am I going to stand there? And I'm like, what do you do when you're watching a band? Do you move to the music? Do you give them a thing? Do you yell? I just think it's an awkward experience. Much more so the older you get, and I think I'm kind of done with it.
I am not, but it has to be for the right. It has to be for the right deal. If I'm going to stand up the entire deal, it has to be the right kind of venue with the right kind of crowd.
And I say that's ultimately that is the actual experience, is the venue. You can go and see, what we like to do is, for us, we're a small place. The bands that play here, we do it so that, the musician and the crowd has good interaction.
Yeah.
So that
Which they do. It's great.
in a lot of places, they separate the two. Obviously, they're trying to keep, control a large crowd. But and the venue itself, if it's not designed for live music, Austin Music Hall I think it honestly was an afterthought. They decided to become a live music venue.
And I think it moved. I think it used to be something else.
And then they renovated it, and it's
fancy lighter stopped working.
It's just not. They didn't. It's poorly designed for live.
It really is. And so anyway, we had this Adamant factor, and it was on my mind, so I thought I'd bring it up because I don't know. It's always good to inject a little other things that are on your heads, but I threw that out there. What I do like about watching live music at O'Brien's is you have the option. You've got, especially on big bands, you've got the option to stand there and get right up close and personal, or you can sit up on the balcony, enjoy your drink, and just take it easy.
Yeah.
And
ultimately, that's what I
like
about
those
O'Brien's,
options.
is that you're not 10 foot off that stage.
And I just don't think I got it in me anymore. So if Faith No More doesn't get me to jump in, I don't know who could.
I will not go gently into that good night.
Well, God bless you.
Rage against the dying of the light.
Well, you raged a lot last year at the Pet Shop Boys concert at
that's right.
The Cure. Depeche Mode. You covered a lot of 80s bands last year.
It was the year of synth pop. My wife is a huge synth pop fan. I actually got a little bit of an appreciation because I never really listened to them that much in the 80s.
Yeah.
But coming off of that Depeche Mode Cure deal, and even Pet Shop Boys, they put on a fun show. It's not really my cup of tea, but still a fun show.
Well, you balanced it. I know you saw Black Sabbath and some other. You balanced it with some testosterone.
Yeah, but
filled.
nothing can absolve from the Morrissey show. That was just.
You were in a funk for a good while after
Yeah.
Morrissey, which who could blame you?
Probably so.
If you
I
do
think about it now, and I'm tearing up.
I saw 15 minutes worth of slaughtered animal video. That was fun.
I will end it on this note, on a high note. If you do get a chance, if you're in the Central Texas area, once a year, Reverend Horton Heat comes through O'Brien's. And it's usually an outdoor show. This year was the first indoor show.
It was the beginning of the year. We didn't unsure of the weather,
And
temperature, that sort of thing.
It's nuts.
I love indoor shows.
It is nuts. And that's a live experience that I felt bad missing it this year, but something like that is when, usually the brothers put me to work maintaining the integrity and the safety of the band and the stage.
You solved that one all by yourself.
Yeah, I solved that problem on myself. I let some chick run up on stage and stage dive, and she was a gazelle. Damn it, she was a gazelle. She was so fast and wiry. But they haven't asked me to do that since.